Hello and welcome back to Apostate Coalition. I am Ryan, and tonight on this channel, we are hosting the Worldly Perspective. And Apostate Coalition is a news, education, information, and tonight, this Bible study is unlike one you've never seen before because we have the Holy Trinity here. We're minus one of our Holy Spirit, but that's okay because our leader, Dr. Time Waster, is going to handle the study with the utmost care, like a shepherd would.
Sure.
Thank you, Dr. Time Waster.
You're welcome. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. We are down one of our members, so we will shun him for this week. And back. He'll have to sit in the back and not answer, and we can't talk to him. But then we'll talk to him again after that.
Maybe.
Now that I've traumatized everybody.
Unshun.
Shun. Yes. So, Tyler, thanks for joining us. You have been most helpful in reading this very readable book that we're reading.
So readable.
Let me know if you don't want to read it anymore.
I read too. I read.
Hello,
heathens.
I'm waving to the heathens.
Yes, heathens wave to each other.
Let's see. So we left off on chapter 4, which is all about chance and statistics.
Take a chance,
Yes.
take a chance, take a chance, take a chance. Sorry, now I've got that in my head. Little ABBA.
Good evening.
Good evening. So the last chapter was talking about how, or the chapter we're on and almost done with, I promise, is mostly talking about chance and the probability of, I'd say if we're being generous, they have been talking about the concept of abiogenesis, which is not well represented in these chapters, but neither is statistics. So I'm just trying to summarize this here.
You're better. You're more apt at it than me right now. So
there's a really good website actually I found that kind of goes over some of the references they use for the statistics and how essentially they're numbers that are continually based on the odds of something happening perfectly the first time. And that's kind of not a genuine way to measure what happens in nature, because everything is happening simultaneously at the same time. And eventually something somewhere is probably going to have a piece of something that works. And then those pieces get more and more. And eventually you have, I'm doing a terrible job describing this, but I think I described it better a while back where I talked about the randomness of the molecules in a box, in a container, or in a certain amount of space. And then every time you shake it, some things will combine together and some things won't. But the pieces that combine together will usually stay together. So as you keep shaking it, eventually more and more pieces are going to start falling into place for what functions. And then you start getting cells, and then you start getting other proteins, and things just start coming together. It's not like every time you shake it, whatever sticks, you only get the one chance, and then it all falls apart and you'll never get it again. You had to get it that one time. So, did you have a question or a comment, sir?
No, I was just saying one chance.
Oh, okay. That was great. Okay. So essentially, that's kind of some of the points that they've made throughout this chapter. They also barely mention, I think they did mention natural selection once, but natural selection is the crucial piece of the theory of evolution that incorporates chance into functionality, chance into what stays and what doesn't stay based on if it's a functioning thing that that allows an organism to live, right? So that's the key piece that just is consistently missed throughout this section. And we're about to go into what is this chapter? Is it scientific? So we're finally going to get to some science here, I guess.
All right. Who's ready?
Oh, look. It's not going to cut your head off tonight. Not too shabby.
All right.
All right. The
Y'all
Holy
ready?
Spirit is with us. Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Is it scientific if a spontaneous beginning for life is to be accepted as scientific fact? It should be established by a scientific method. This has been described as follows. Observe what happens. Based on those observations, form a theory as to what may be true. Test the theory by further observations and by experiments, and watch to see if the predictions based on the theory are fulfilled. In an attempt to apply the scientific method, it has not been possible to observe the spontaneous generation of life. There is no evidence that it is happening now, and of course, no human observer who was around when evolutionists say it was happening. No theory concerning it has been verified by observation. Laboratory experiments have failed to repeat it. Predictions based on the theory have not been fulfilled, which such an inability to apply the scientific method and honest science to evaluate such a theory to the level of fact.
Whew. That was a lot of things you just said there.
That was a lot of things.
Is it honest to elevate such a theory to the level of fact? Okay, first of all, I want to back up here. I believe I gave some homework the last time we were here about researching what is the scientific method. Because the very first sentence is, if a spontaneous beginning for life is to be accepted as scientific fact, it should be established by the scientific method. I don't disagree with that statement. However, their description of the scientific method is not exactly
It's true.
how I would describe it.
It's true. Just accept it.
Yeah.
So
don't deny Jehovah, please, Dr. Conwayster.
It wasn't perfect. It wasn't perfect
because you're worldly.
It does start with an observation, right? It starts with an observation.
Mm-hmm.
It then goes to
use my papers.
You have an observation, and usually what we do from there is form a question. Like, what question could we ask about it? Pick any observation, and we can make an example of this. Then you research the topic. Then you form a hypothesis. I'm sorry, the answer we were looking for was not theory, but form a hypothesis. Sorry, that was my Jeopardy. So after you've formed a hypothesis, which is essentially what you think is happening based on your observations and the research you've done on it, right? You then test that hypothesis. So right off the bat, you have to ask a question, find some information, form a hypothesis, and then that hypothesis has to be testable. So if we have a hypothesis that God exists, how do we test that theory, that hypothesis? Excuse me. Right. It's not a very good, it's not a question we have the capacity to really answer.
What was the question again?
I was just throwing out a hypothesis. An example of making a testable hypothesis. But I said, how do you test if God is real?
Okay. I was just making sure that's what I heard.
Yeah.
Just so I can say that.
Just an example of how difficult it could be. And maybe there might be other questions we want to ask. Which is
how do we know?
He would talk to me.
Yeah. Who else would give you everlasting? You get everlasting life. He died for your sins. He died for your sins. That's proof enough.
I mean,
oh my God.
That is what people are banking on, is that the evidence will come after they die. Right? Anyway.
Yeah.
So you have a test. Let's just pretend we have a testable experiment here, a hypothesis that we can test on. We would then analyze the data from that, and then we would report our conclusions and go back to the original observations and see if they match. And if they do, probably more people are going to want to test it in multiple ways just to make sure. If it doesn't, then you go back to the drawing board and you have one more thing to scratch off the list of, well, probably not this.
I have no idea how you could prove other than showing said God.
If you could prove what? Like
God exists.
Oh.
I don't see how you would do it.
That's what people have been saying for a very long time.
Well, I know. I was just thinking.
But how would you do it? How could you prove it? How can you get empirical data? How do you,
I don't know how. I mean, I just people.
Good luck.
But people accept it as like, yeah.
God is outside of space and time. Prove it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That one throw me for a loop, because outside of space and time is nothing.
Yeah, as far as we understand it, yeah.
That's just nothing. Oh, it's not there. Don't exist. Oh, it's outside of space and time. Oh, you're saying they don't exist. Okay, I understand. I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the theory of evolution has become a theory because it started off as this scientific method. It started off as an observation. Started off with scientists observing animals over time, seeing fossil records. Well, actually, there really wasn't even a lot of fossils at the time of the theory of evolution becoming public.
Theory.
It was a hypothesis first.
It's a theory.
It is a theory now, yes.
No, but yeah, it's a theory.
It's all in the inflection. It's a theory.
Radical.
It has been tested repeatedly over time.
No, but it's a theory, so
Unlike
it hasn't been proven.
theoretical observations that occurred in Genesis earlier in chapter 3.
No, he was there for sure.
Well, just remember, someone was there to tell
Somebody
them.
was definitely there watching.
So I feel like
they weren't mentioned in the creation.
So they had to exist before the first creation to tell you about the thing that always existed. So then I don't know. But then wouldn't it just be that person thing writing his own book? But then how would you prove that? But that's just everybody else just saying that's what it is. That's what they saying that what it is. Oh. Okay.
I think it's a good idea to just always ask, and how do they know?
I just hit a Garfunkel.
A Garfunkel?
Yes.
Jay, I'm glad you're a time traveler. Jehovah was the first doctor.
Who?
The first doctor. He's the first everything. The first writer. The first historian.
First murderer.
Oh. Sorry.
He is. Technically, he is. He's the first.
Yeah.
Oh, just because they ate from some fruit.
Let me flood him out.
We're done. Those telomerases are getting shorter and shorter, baby. That's a nerd joke.
I'm gonna flood the earth and start over. Okay. That sounds true.
So the other part of
realistic.
I don't think they got the scientific method down. And then the next chapter is in an attempt to apply the scientific method, it has not been possible to observe the spontaneous generation of life. And again, they keep going back to like the spontaneous generation theory. I think they're trying to conflate them as the same thing, which is that things will just suddenly become alive, but that was before they discovered germ theory. So, which is also a theory, by the way. So
Jehovah was
a
the
little
first not to be
disingenuous of
fun.
misrepresenting it.
First buzz kill.
But it does. There's plenty of things that have shown that the evolution theory has a lot of merit. So
You sure about that?
I'm pretty sure.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I don't know. Do we want?
Where am I?
Thoughts on that?
What? We slide on down.
Oh, yippers.
On the other hand, there is ample evidence to support the conclusion that spontaneous generation of life from non-living matter is not possible. One has only to contemplate the magnitude of this task. Professor Wald of Harvard University acknowledges. Harvard. We got a guy from Harvard in our book. To conceive that the spontaneous generation of living organism is impossible. But what does this prominent proponent of evolution actually believe? He answers, yet here we are as a result. I believe of spontaneous generation. Does that sound like objective science? Did you?
How much you want to bet that quote was taken a bit out of context and also really outdated, since he is talking about the spontaneous generation theory from the one that we know isn't true.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that looks like he butchered the mess out of that.
Again, most of these references are probably from like the 60s and 70s.
What was the real quote? I know you.
I don't.
What, you don't have it this one time?
I don't have it. I think I have the other one, which was also taken out of context.
You have failed this city.
I think I couldn't find that one. What is it?
27? I wouldn't be surprised if there should be an ellipses in there. They probably took something out.
It sounds like
a whole bunch of stuff out.
Listen how they say, yet here we are. As a result, I believe of spontaneous generation.
That quote is from, hold on, Scientific American, August 1954. I couldn't find it. It was a magazine from 1954.
Well, this just looked like they cut out pieces.
They probably did.
They don't make sense.
1954. My God.
Context from somebody from.
Did women even have full rights in 1954?
I don't think it did.
Who? What now in 1954?
Did women didn't even have all their rights in 1954? I mean,
like, when did they? Don't have them now.
No, right?
That's
Hello. Yeah. It's about to get real uncomfortable. Yeah, no, that is not a good year to be getting scientific information from if it's not been like updated, like it's not been tested, like with what we know now. This book came out
in 85, so they had opportunities to.
Dang, they went all the way back to 64 from 85.
Oh my! It was even old then. Oh my God!
But here's the thing, though: is anybody in that Kingdom Hall? How many like?
See,
Dr. Time Waster, you're a calculated loss. like they expect a few to drop off.
Sure.
Never.
They didn't put a lot of investment in me, I think. But
they expect, yeah. We know they know we can't get those, but we know we can get the other ones. So they accepted that. Yeah. But this, because it's probably way more people who didn't fall off who's reading this, like. Yeah. They throw any big science words in there.
Spontaneous generation. You know all about the spontaneous macerations. Oh yes, population gyrations. All about it. Yep. I feel smart.
British biologist Joseph Henry Woodger characterize such reasonings
The name.
as simple dogmatism, as asserting that what you want to believe did in fact happen. How have scientists come to accept in their own minds this apparent violation of the scientific method? The well known evolutionist Lorraine Isley conceded after
That has
having
too many E's in it.
I do after having shitted.
I'm sorry.
Is that what that word is?
Tried it? I don't know.
Chided? Chided? After having chided the theologian for his
Somebody look it up.
for his reliance.
You know, like you kind of chide, you make somebody
you
kind
chided.
of feel uncomfortable to do something like
He
prod
chided
them.
Having chided I thought it was chitted.
I cheated on them. I just cheated on them. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Jehovah is not happy right now. You letting the devil get loose in there. You have to get right with him and come back to our senses. Okay. So after chiding the theologian for his reliance on myth and miracle, science found itself in the dang it.
Unenviable.
Yeah, that position of having to create mythologically of its own, namely the assumption that what after long effort could not be proved to take place today had in truth taken place in the what?
Primeval.
Primeval. What?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they using these words, man? What's up with
Well, first of all, they're quoting somebody from probably 1957 language. They also totally took that quote out of context because the person who's making that quote is then saying, like, how ridiculous a biology book starting off saying basically like creation stuff. And so they're taking this out of context and making it sound like this scientist agrees with them. So, yeah. So it's also language from 1957. So that's how smart. I guess they talk.
Yeah, that's how they talk.
And like, and they always ask, every time they say something, they ask a question immediately after it. Or I say, oh, you think you're slick.
Yeah.
Well,
they certainly do.
Well, based on the evidence, the spontaneous generation of life theory appears better to fit the realm of science fiction as a scientific fact. Many supporters apparently have forsaken the scientific method in such matters in order to believe what they want to believe. In spite of wait a minute.
There's a little you gotta scroll past this little blurb. We can go back to it. It was in spite of the overwhelming odds against
life originating by chance, unyielding dogmatic prevails rather than the cautional normal signal by the scientific method. Did they just Uno reverse?
Yes, they did. They did Uno reverse.
We're gonna say you're doing it. You're doing it. You're the one that's abandoning the scientific method. We're following it. New light and old light, scientific method.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's kind of a straw man, just a little bit maybe. But yeah. Yeah, they did. I think Uno reverse is the best way to explain what you just said. That
It
was
just sounds
nonsense.
like science fiction to me. So,
It
bah humbug.
it sounds like projection to me. Like this is what they're doing, and then they're just saying science is doing this. But that's kind of
Interesting
you say it
way
first and
to look at
loudest,
it.
they'll believe you.
They're not proving
Right.
anything. They're just, this whole book is not them proving anything. They're just trying to put doubt in the other
Mhm.
thing.
There's no quotes in that paragraph 33 either. That is the author's words. Anyway, I don't remember the blip here. Was this evolutionist past and present comment on the origin of life?
Oh, it's a bunch of quotes. Okay.
Or
How
either
ridiculous.
half quotes. I know they.
That it
It's
takes
impossible, says biochemist George Wald.
How about an honest man armed with all the knowledge available to us now could only state that in some sense the origin of life appears at the moment to be almost a miracle, said
Almost
the
a
guy
miracle.
helped discover DNA helix. Yeah, I don't think so. No, I'm sure he said it, but almost.
Hey, they got quotes in this book.
Right.
True.
Almost,
Meaning,
but not exactly.
when we know so little and we know how much there is to know still, like the more you know, the more you realize you don't know.
Yes.
You then acknowledge that to get to even where we are today with the knowledge we have, even 50 years ago would look like magic. 100 years ago would look like magic.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you
Yeah.
imagine what like this would look like to somebody? You know, they'd be like,
Witch?
right. Yeah, they'd be burning me.
Your Harry
my
Potter
God.
wand. Yes. I mean,
Tweet. What's that?
tweet. Trying to even describe the internet, you would be put away in an insane
girl, I
asylum.
couldn't describe electricity.
Hey, I'm
please.
gonna talk to two different people from two different parts of the globe at the same time right now, and I'm not even gonna leave my house.
That's right.
How you like
And
that?
I've never physically met these people. I don't even know if they exist.
The devil.
Oh, I'm just a hologram for sure. 100%.
I do feel more like the supporting character.
Not at all.
I don't know. Nonsense. Anyway.
Well, not all scientists accept it though. So
Ooh. Really? Are they going to find some scientists that disagree with? That's all they look for. If you want to find something.
Well, yeah, not all scientists accept it. That's true. But not all scientists, however, have closed the door on the alternative. For example, physicist H.S. Lipson realizes the odds against a spontaneous origin for life, said the only acceptable explanation is creation.
Oh,
the only.
it's only two options.
So
I know that is the
anathema.
yeah to physicists, as indeed it is to me. But we must not reject a theory that we do not like in the experiment. Their experimental evidence supports it. I just really don't. I really
Good advice.
and they're really good at how they do this. Like they make this. Oh man. He further observes that after Darwin's book, The Origin of Species, evolution became, in a sense, a scientific religion. Almost all scientists have accepted it, and many are prepared to bend their observations to fit in with it. A sad but true they're lying. God.
No,
Here's the deal. Look, here's the deal.
they're not lying.
Where is the integrity here?
I
I want you to have. I want somebody. You got your belief in your belief. Where's the integrity? Where's the integrity? Come on. You know what you're doing here.
So can I just say the scientist that they're quoting here is one of those people who believes in evolutionary creation. They don't deny that animals are changing and evolving over time, but they just think God was the spark. And then also there's a quote from him saying, "I don't accept the Genesis account of creation as anything more than pleasing fantasy. My idea of creation is much subtler. Since it is not scientific in the sense that it cannot be tested, I shall not expound on it here." So he had ideas, but he had those hypotheses that were not testable, right? How do you prove God exists? He knows he can't do it. He just doesn't have enough information to think that it's plausible that it could have happened on its own, but pretty close. Like, he believes there's enough information that it evolved, but he just quite couldn't get to the start button. And when was this? I don't even know. I don't even know how long ago it was.
Oh, God.
Again,
1920s. I'm just kidding.
Dr. Towers, can you read this next one?
Yeah. I think we know who this is. Chandra Wickramasinghe. I totally butchered that, and I do apologize, but it's a professor at the University of the College in Cardiff. Do you want me to keep reading, or did you just want me to get that far?
No, let's keep reading.
Oh, okay.
I'm testing something.
Okay. My inflections. So, from my earliest training as a scientist, I was very strongly brainwashed to believe that science cannot be consistent with any kind of deliberate creation. That notion has to be very painfully shed. I am quite comfortable in the situation, the state of mind I now find myself in, but there is no logical way out of it. For life to have been a chemical accident on Earth is like looking for a particular grain of sand on all of the beaches in all of the planets in the universe and finding it. In other words, it is just not possible the life could have originated from a chemical accident. So Wickramasinghe concludes there is no other way in which we can understand the precise order of chemical life except to invoke the creations of a cosmic scale.
Ugh, come on. What an oversimplification.
So this...
You speak good Jehovah.
It's just looking like it's looking for a particular grain of sand on all the beaches and all the planets in the universe and finding it. That's exactly what it's like. That is the comparison.
So that goes back all the way to Hoyle and this scientist that collaborated, and they're the ones that came up with the very, very improbable scientific number that said that that's the chance that it was that life came into existence. But again, it's that idea that it had to happen singularly. Nobody else was trying. One thing out of everything magically made it the first time. And that is that number.
So God started evolution.
I mean, that's what they're basically saying is that.
So again, it's weird. You go do all these extra steps, man. All these extra steps of evolving. Why would you do that?
Right. What would be the purpose
of going through all these years of evolving just for you to have weird fetishes with them?
Right. And you already went through the process of this ordered creation. Why would life couldn't come? Because doesn't fit. Doesn't make any sense.
You worry about how they grow their hair.
What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
He's got a beard. Oh,
I can finally let my beard grow, you guys.
Right? You won't be too worldly.
Looks like I can join now, for real.
Yeah, you can join. See, you don't have to change. You don't have to change your look. Beard's allowed now.
Jehovah, watch out. I might be there. Next meeting, man, I might be.
Light came on the first day.
Not talking about the new light.
The new light came on the third day.
Oh, right. The newer, lower, lesser light.
The newer, brighter, lighter light.
Yeah, so that's all I have to say about that. But there's I did find like well, you can find it, I'm sure, just by googling it. But there was a pretty good explanation of that scientific of that calculation that they're talking about of the improbability of life. And it's basically like they're calculating the probability of the formation of a modern proteins or even a complete bacterium. It's that 747 all coming together in one shake, instead of taking into account ancient proteins might not have needed to be the ones that we're using today. Like things can evolve, even proteins can evolve. So they might not even been the ones that we have today. And then they assume there's a fixed number of proteins with fixed sequences for each protein that are required for life. And that's not necessarily the case. They calculate the probability of sequential trials rather than simultaneous trials. So the fact that they're saying it had to happen by one chance with one thing, as opposed to it's happening all over at the same time, repeatedly over and over and over again, not just once. And then they're kind of miscalculating the probability. And this author says they're also underestimating the number of functional enzymes and ribosomes present to make random sequences. So, like, I know it sounds kind of boring to go through all of that, but
It
just
do.
Not the ribosomes.
I'm gonna stop you right there.
Leave out the ribosomes, though.
I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna
that's
stop you.
it is a complex thing.
I'm gonna stop you right there and tell you this. I'd rather just become a Jehovah Witness
Than argue. I can't. Too tired.
I'd rather just
It's
join.
too much.
That's how they get you. I'll join. I'll just join.
Fine, forget it. Whatever's easier. Here's the visual of it, right? It's backwards, I know, but like this
No, it's actually right.
This is all the steps of the concept of abiogenesis forming with all these different.
Okay.
But this is the representation that they're giving. Is
That's
here to
how
here.
they're oversimplifying. Wow. No, that's
Right.
really good.
I
That's
just
really
explained all
good.
those things, and people's eyes got glossy, and people lost interest. It's really easy to then be tricked to believe that
You got to find a better
how
way to tell
ridiculous
it.
could that be?
I got to find a better way to tell it. And I
But
think
there,
but think about it. Maybe this was happening. Maybe this has happened. Maybe church was attempted to make it more entertaining, and then it got out of hand. And now it's like we were just joking. No, they're running with it now.
well, we have an education system that's based on taxes, and then we have a religious system that is tax free but gets to do all the teaching. So,
hey man, sucks to be
Don't
y'all.
that seem a little backwards?
we're all at risk. What are you talking about? You're just lucky those people aren't voting.
Scientists have no proof that life was not the result of an act of creation, though. That's the reality. That's what Jastro says.
So I'm wearing this t-shirt that was given to me, and it's got a little globe on it.
Oh, wait, hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me just doop.
Oh. So it's a little teapot, and it's the earth, and somewhere out here, wrong one. It's called Russell's teapot. Bertrand Russell came up with this concept, and it's this idea that there's a teapot floating out in Earth's orbit. Prove me wrong. And so it's kind of talking about the burden of proof being on the people making the claims, right? There is something that exists, no, prove me wrong, and how difficult it is to prove that opposite. Like, how do you prove something's wrong when it hasn't even been demonstrated to exist? So the burden of proof is on the person saying that there's a teapot floating in space. So where is it? Show us, prove it. How to get there? Can you explain how it got there?
There's also a spaghetti monster out in outer space.
They don't care.
Okay,
that's what we're talking about here. That
they don't care.
Oh shoot! Look at that. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't know we could do
like
that. Okay, no, I'm pushing buttons. Things are happening. Hey,
like a newscast.
Just like a newscast.
This just
Professional
in.
and all.
This. So scientists have no proof that life was not the result of an act of creation. So they're trying to shift the burden of proof to science because it has a scientific method, and yet they've never once shown God to exist. So,
But they don't have to use the scientific method to prove what they believe. They got the good old trusty,
magic.
yeah, truth, and just, you know, trust me, bro, it's for real.
Yeah, trust me, bro. That's a mega Chad. Just trust me, bro. It couldn't be Jedi.
All right, I'm sorry. I should have kept going. Do you want me to finish reading these?
Sure,
that's it.
sure.
That's all we got, and then we're done with this chapter.
Sure.
Where are we at? Are we at 36?
Just astronomer Robert Jastrow said scientists have no proof that life was not the result of an act of creation, which was what you were reading. Yes, even assuming that a first living cell did somehow spontaneously arise, is there evidence that it evolved into all the creatures that have ever lived on the earth? How implausible is that?
Come on now.
Fossils supply the answer, and the next chapter considers what the fossil record really says.
Yeah, what it really says. I want to know what it really says. Oh, I see. That's the whole
That was
kit
the
and
lead up.
caboodle there. I
Yeah.
see. I
That's
see.
it.
All right. We finished the chapter. Look at that.
Wow.
Yay.
You know,
um,
brother Dub Stopper, you know, backslide, but it's okay.
Yeah, he's gonna have to make up some time. I'm a little disappointed.
yeah, this is just. I'm sorry, guys. This is so painful. We still have to go through the fossil record and what they're not gonna really go into it very well, I think. But
Oh boy, they're gonna destroy it.
I'm telling you now, I'm not anticipating them. They're doing everything I expect them to do.
yeah, they're using the playbook you expect.
Yeah, it's great, and it's an amazing playbook. It's art. Like I told you.
So this is your observation.
I just want to give bravo for like that's some good indoctrination right here, man. They're doing a good job, boy. A real good job. It's
so, are you saying that people who at one point in time fell for it should not feel maybe quite so bad because this is damn
it's a good job. Like,
yeah.
It's like, oh.
And this is coming from somebody who, with his free time, enjoys learning about cults and listening to who again? What preachers? Ugh.
Oh yeah, I listen to all the preachers. Greg Locke.
Oh God, please stop that!
I love listening. I love listening to him.
Don't you dare!
It's just I be like, yeah, I believe that you believe.
I believe that you believe.
I believe you believe. Yeah.
That children with autism or have demons.
But I don't really be focusing. I don't focus as much on. It's not really the pastors I really be paying attention to mostly. I always like when they spin that camera around, you get to see how many people are there. And it's like, oh man, like food each. It's like a lot, and you look at it like, man, they look like just regular people. You wouldn't even know them if you seen them.
Yeah, they
like you'll know Greg Locke when you see him, but you won't know the people in the congregation. And it's like, man, they good. They good. They got y'all, man. I don't know how I dodged that one, but
I think Dan actually has a good point. But I will say there are astrobiologists who study what life would look like on other planets. So there are some people that actually are qualified to answer that. I don't know about this guy. I don't even know if this is being taken out of context. I can't remember if I looked into it or if I could find it. You can go back to the references in the back of the book and just kind of browse through them. Again, there is no reference older than I think it was 1982. I think that was, something like 84.
I can't remember. Did we determine what the oldest book they referenced? I can't remember.
I mean,
I thought
technically
we
they're
did, but
referencing, the
50s.
wow, my brain is just totally. Technically, they're referencing Charles Darwin's book, The Theory within the Theory of Evolution by Natural Selection, which came out 1800 something. Can't remember the date. Boy, I don't know. They keep
Look at that.
referencing all the different like newer versions of it, like the Mentors edition and things like that. So they don't actually reference the original, but
They got a reference in the back of this book.
they do. They even highlighted
Yeah.
repeats.
Oh, wowzy. Look at that.
Look at that, man. You in
All those pink ones are all the different times they reference the neck of the giraffe.
So they have
Oh, God. The
so
neck of the giraffe.
So they have an index in the back of this book.
Yeah, so like on paragraph 36, where at the end of that quote says 32, you go back to the book and then you can go to chapter 4, number 32, and it will say The Enchanted Loom, Minded in the Universe by Robert Jarstro, 1980.
Man, boy, them boys good.
Good.
Mm-mm.
Hey, this is one of their newer ones. So
They make you feel smart.
So, Tyler, since you've made an observation about Jehovah's Witness organization and how they talk to their members, you've done your research by reading at least 4 chapters now of this book. What are your hypotheses for how they will approach the chapter on fossils and the fossil record? And what do they think the fossil record really says? You can think about it if you don't have it ready. But
I don't know.
you can do the scientific method.
I got a feeling they're just gonna say they all just showed up at the same time.
Yeah, I bet they'll say something about just like the flood, and
yeah, I've seen that.
It shows that at one time there was a flood and all the animals died at one time, so they must have all been, I don't know.
Yeah. All they died at one time. That's what they're gonna do.
What's that?
That's what they're gonna do. I believe it.
No?
I believe in Jehovah and everything he says.
I'm very curious. Are we gonna dip into it? Are we dipping into the next one? Are we dipping and diving in?
I don't want to leave. I don't want Brother Dobstopper to miss out.
Maybe we shouldn't.
Like a good one.
He might want the fossil record to speak to him.
Yeah,
I want you guys to know how much I'm doing my studying diligently here. I also have
Look at the fish.
What'd you say? Oh,
he's happy.
Yeah. This is that fish that learned to walk on land, and now we all have to have jobs.
What were you saying?
Oh, you bastard!
What you saying, Dr. Time Washer?
I made my own.
Grin.
Yes. Sorry, you can just see all the words. The Genesis Biblical Fossil Record, and these are my predictions of what the fossil record should be like based on the theoretical observations from the creation account in Genesis. And I did some definitions. I have an objective, I have definitions, and I have what should be, as best as possible, a tested hypothesis. So that's right.
He's having a really bad night.
That look on his face. Aw.
He's like that shocked seal. He's just like,
like a goldfish.
One of them big kois of some sweet koi of sweets.
Sweets.
I got that 100-yard stare. He just hit the pipe way too hard.
Gone.
He's gone. Oh,
okay. That's some good artwork, though.
I hate that fish making me get a job. Oh, God damn, these comments are sending me.
Is it Tiktaalik? Yes, it's Tiktaalik.
What?
That's what it is?
All the way back to 375 million years ago, an intermediate fossil that represents the transitions of vertebrate life from water to land, Tiktaalik, discovered in 2004, is an ancient fish with a lobed fin fish, and it bears many similarities to fish with gills and scales and fins, but has other characteristics like bones homologous to the hand and the wrist, and being able to bear weight underneath.
There's no way. There's no way. Average.
Where's its pee hole?
No, but no, I'm talking about. There's no way an average person who works all week long, and they show up to the Kingdom Hall on Sunday, is understanding they're going through so much. We're only 4 chapters in. We're 4 chapters in. They're flying through some very uber complicated things like it.
We're also dealing with all the social structures of the Kingdom Hall and the book studies and
that's my face at the Kingdom Hall.
Yeah. And did you accidentally let your beard grow just a little too long and you showed up to book study? And
But you're gonna understand all this sciencey stuff on top of your job.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean, I like it, and I still forget stuff and have to relearn it. And there's so much that I don't have any idea. I'm not an evolutionary biologist. I have a friend who works in climate change. And she doesn't know everything.
I had to call my mom and say, "Thank you for just stop going." Thank you.
Thank you, Mama. I love
you. When you're a child to learn these things, because then it's easy. Then you have a better foundation of the facts moving forward, and then things aren't so unbelievable. The magic is gone.
I never liked the Jehovah Witnesses. I tell you, it wasn't like they could have got me
fake.
From the moment we started going. I didn't like it. I said, no, I don't like this.
Yeah.
Something's just not right there.
You just wanted to sin.
That's all it
sin
is.
Was in me was greater than my love for Jehovah. But I'm here now. You know, hopefully I can look at Jehovah the way that fish is.
Yeah, Jay's got it right. Try to read this after. Yeah, try reading this shit at book study after working all day out loud. It's I mean, it is technically what we're doing, but
but and I'm exhausted from this thing. Exhausts me, but I don't have any stress because there's nobody saying you better believe this.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I ain't got no pressure. Ain't no
I didn't even prepare before this. So.
As soon as we're done talking about this, I don't lay up at night thinking about this. Oh my God, was it Jehovah or was it not?
I mean, what are the odds? Can we calculate that? We don't even have any of the variables to add to that calculation. No. How do you calculate outside of space and time?
I feel I sleep great.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Oh, Dan.
That is amazing.
Oh, Dandy, thank you. It literally is golden dandy. It's the golden ticket. It's the golden comment and the golden fit. I need that on a t-shirt.
So we know too many people that can make this happen. Come on, somebody's got to make this happen.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Back to business.
Oh no, this is business.
Okay.
When business and pleasure mix.
Wait, let's please mix them together. Oh, that's so good. You're too quick, Jonathan. I guess it would really be not good if I say like, "Hey, that's Jonathan." I did that. Oh my God!
I thought it was Dan.
I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Like, duh, I'm a little bit hi, y'all. My
Jonathan
bad.
makes all the amazing art.
Yes, He's been keeping our thumbnails fresh. Hot off the presses, whatever we talked about. He'll pick something, and then this is just perfect. I can't wait. And thank you, Dandy. That's so super sweet of you. We appreciate you.
Well,
Okay.
I don't see that we should probably move on and start a new chapter. We should probably just cut our losses. Actually, if you scroll back down just really quick.
Back down. Yeah.
Just now I said that, and now I want to look at it really quick. But
Look
keep
this
going.
one.
This
right here, the pink.
little like blurb here. Orthodox evolutionary theory anticipated a fossil record that contains these things, whereas the creation pattern anticipated a fossil record that contains these things. So that's where I was getting to the, what would you hypothesize the fossil record would look like based on the only two theories that are available, by the way. That's it. There's no other ones. Don't look. Don't look.
Oh, I'm not supposed to look. I can't think about it.
Prove they're wrong first before you make up any other theories.
Yeah, before you have any real idea of what the frick you're talking about.
Yeah, It's yeah.
I don't even know what I'm looking at.
You're looking
like
at
my brain had just shut it off. Like I had shut it off.
When you saw this, you shut down.
The fuses in the back of my
I like
brain
the
just-
easy answer. I like that just
I'm just gonna be a
life
Je- I'm
forms
just gonna be a
suddenly
Je-
appeared.
I'm just gonna be a Jehovah Witness.
Hallelujah.
Like this. I'm just gonna join.
Okay. When we do get into this chapter and we start talking about fossils, lo and behold, they will ask about the missing link, right? We've all heard of
The missing link.
the missing link. Have you guys ever heard of that mathematical concept of if you cut something in half and then cut that in half and then cut that in half and then you will have infinite, you'll never get to the end because it will just keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller because you'll just never stop cutting it in half. I don't know the name of this mathematical model or theory, but it's the same thing with asking for the missing link, because every time we do find something that is potentially a transitional fossil, it is then, well, where's the link between that one and us? And where's the link between that one and that one? And so it's like you're just continually and so it's the concept of, well, the more you keep slicing it and dicing it, at some point they're not going to look that different. That's the point of the idea that it is happening at a speed. Plus, also, we can't capture every fossil that's ever lived. Not every animal that's ever lived has fossilized. Probably not, or was and is lost. But still, the concept of just like wanting more and more in the middle. And it's that God of the gaps is just going to get smaller and smaller the more missing pieces that we find.
No.
But I guess
Jehovah's going to keep that gap wide. No.
It's true.
Jehovah's is too big of a gap to close.
Oh God, close your gap.
So decent. Mind the gap.
Mind the gap. Exactly.
Last week, Dr. Conway, we discovered who the missing link was. You said
Discovered what?
The missing link. You discovered it.
We discovered so many missing links.
No. You discovered it.
Oh, me personally?
Yes, you last week.
And I didn't say what I was talking about because that was so long ago.
You said it was us. It was a fish. It was fish. No. It said Jesus was the missing link between the fish and the monkey.
Did I say that on here? Or did I say that to you? And you're now calling me out.
Uh-oh. Hot tea.
I don't know. I just thought about that. Maybe it was.
I'll find it. I'll share it. I don't remember it now.
But it was funny though. It was like a fish in the image of Jesus and then a monkey. That's the missing link.
I'll find it again. I'll find it. I'll share it. I'll share with the class.
Share with the class, will you, please? Thank you.
It's Jesus fish on minivans. It's very well possible.
No. You just said that, and I said I'm going to draw that.
Do you know how much text I'd have to go through to find?
I didn't text that to you. It was last Thursday. My memory's impeccable. I know what
All
it
right.
was.
I trust you.
It was something said out loud. I may have
I
texted back
do.
to you. Okay.
Now I have to go back and listen to these
Okay.
book studies again.
This stupid podcast, whatever it is. People being worldly. That's enough.
Right.
Worldly people.
I know.
Those worldly people are, man. They just want to sin. They just want to have candy canes.
Man, my kids. Yeah, I'll save that for later.
Oh, that's right. I remember not being allowed to eat candy canes.
Yeah, like if you came home with like a candy cane or something.
Was this for Christmas?
Yeah, I remember that. And then I remember eating them anyway.
Yeah, I think I might have. I don't.
I might have been that bad kid who just went, I want to follow your rules, but that one's just stupid. So I'm going to sneak candy canes in my room and eat them anyway.
I thought I had a very tight upbringing, but man. God.
Golly.
See, that was the beauty, it was the generational gap that saved me.
Yeah.
It was the generational gap that saved me. Between my grandmother being born in 1927 and me being 86.
Wow.
Light years ahead of her.
I mean, at some point you get that age and you're like, he'll figure it out. All right.
Well, I was left to my devices a lot.
Yeah. He'll figure out life. He doesn't need me to micromanage his life. Go outside.
I was left to do it all on my own. So I just whatever.
Well, you were lucky. I think a lot of people who were left on their own devices were probably luckier in many ways because then they were able
except for the
things
crippling trauma of neglect.
Yeah, I mean, it's the upside to the neglect, right?
So I'll take the neglect and being smart about this.
I might take neglect over some other traumas, that's for sure. So
I had a great time. I just had a great time. Just not. I mean, I just I don't remember religion being so crazy.
Well, you weren't in it.
And I didn't realize I wasn't in it. I thought I was in it. I thought I was in it with it. I thought everybody was doing how I was doing it. And then when you realize they not, it's like, yo, what y'all been doing this? Oh man, I didn't know y'all doing all that.
Really hit you.
I was like, oh, that's crazy. I guess we haven't been in the same thing.
Yeah. I think we're learning that the little silos bubbles are popping, and you can live in a community and everyone in the community believes it, and we just don't live in. It's harder to do that now.
But I will say this, like I always say this: JW and Baptist totally different.
Yeah.
It feels.
I mean, Jehovah's Witnesses pride themselves on being different. I think to the point where they double down on some of their bad policies in order to be different. I think they're going to have a hard time giving up their blood transfusion policy because they view it as a way that separates them from all the other religions. And if you believe you're the one true religion, you really have to work hard to make that.
Jehovah's Witnesses have been the butt of the jokes. A lot.
Well, when I was in, I used to love the jokes. There's an couple X-Files where they make Jehovah's Witness jokes, and I loved them.
I had never seen anything really ever show
being a Jehovah Witness, something. Oh yeah, that's cool.
That it was just the best
it
life
was
ever.
always like something's off about that. And then,
Yeah,
oh,
just convincing ourselves.
all those days I drive past that stone building, I thought y'all was having a blast up in there.
Oh my God, those just square brick buildings or whatever they're comprised of, depends.
Oh, I have some satisfying information to share. The Kingdom Hall that I got disfellowshipped from is in the town that I just moved back to. Don't ask. And I have such great satisfaction when I drive by it all the time. And it is now a Mexican chicken barbecue place. I have yet to go in there and get some, but I'm definitely looking forward to it.
You better go support them. Mexican chicken barbecue.
Understand.
Mexican
That's the
chicken
game.
barbecue.
That's the game. While y'all think y'all just eating food, you're really eating the word.
Sanctified.
He got y'all. Jehovah works in mysterious ways. A Jesus child.
I have a Christmas pickle.
It was
Damn
an
it.
army recruiting.
I gotta get it out.
Before the chicken place, though. What does that mean?
It was
an army recruiting place.
Fighting for the Lord.
Soldier for the Lord.
Yep. See?
Jehovah.
The one army.
Oh, well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Jehovah. Let's put its name in the Bible, even when it doesn't belong there. Let's just throw it in.
We're so used to it in the English language, so now we have to leave it in there. Another thing they have to double down on. Anyways, thanks everybody for coming out. We'll come back next week, maybe, unless you guys have something going on. You got anything better to do? No? All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
I think so. What's the date? I don't even know.
I don't know.
Church is on the Thursday.
Oh, the 28th. Yeah, that should be fine.
I'll be here.
I'll be here.
That should be good.
You on winter break or?
Who?
Nice, Jay.
Are children on winter break at this time of year?
Of course they are.
Yay, I don't have to worry about driving slow in the school zones.
Chicken brothers and sisters. Chicken brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
Of Jehovah.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, so I think we'll be here. We'll try and be here next week, and we'll talk about fossils. So bring your Jurassic Park.
It's the big New Year's almost Eve extravaganza.
Right.
Extravaganza.
No holds bar excitement.
Oh. Shiver me timbers.
Before you start the new year, make sure you tune in. Get the word. Get fed. We're here to feed.
That's right. You need it. You need a little bit of us in you. In your new year.
He's inside of us.
That's right.
Some more than others.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not Dobstopper. Not after tonight.
He's gonna have to work his way from being shunned.
He needs to repent.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then we can think about it.
Thank you, everyone, for coming out.
Thank you. Yeah.
Hang out next time. Peace.
And Dan D, thank you for the
money. And Jonathan, thank you for the wonderful artwork.
Yes.
We'll be using that next week. I'm sure of it.
That's awesome.
Keep them coming.
Yes, please do. Thank you all. We love you. Have a great night. See ya. Bye-bye.